Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
And welcome back. Coming up later in our show, we'll have a special report about how cameras can actually see through your clothing. But first, let's talk about somebody who can see through all the lies and the BS. A reporter, a foreign reporter at that, goes to a press conference and is asking about this war, this attack on Syria. Was this constitutional? How can you guys go about this? And this is the very surprising answer that she was given.
You're talking about in Syria and in protection of the
yes.
ISIL, anti-ISIL coalition fighters that have in part been trained by the U.S.
Yes.
I frankly don't know what the legal authority is. What we're very clear about is that they're fighting in, frankly, a lawless area of Syria.
In terms of
they're
US
under attack.
law,
let me finish.
Is it the
they're under
AUMF?
attack. Just let me finish.
Earlier this week, it was reported that the U.S. would allow airstrikes against Syrian government targets in defense of U.S.-trained rebel militants who have been battling against the Assad regime for the past 4 years. A de facto declaration of war 2 years after President Obama supposedly backed down from committing the United States to military action in Syria to topple the Assad government. So as you guys may recall, Obama comes out and says there's a red line concerning Syria. Then he says Assad crosses that line with chemical weapons, even though there's a video of at least the al-Qaeda rebels committing at least one chemical weapons attack. And then he backs off. He says, I didn't set the red line. The world set the red line. Just like I said, I never said you could keep your doctor. Then people go back and they say, yeah, this is you saying if you like your doctor, you keep your doctor. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. Just all these lies. They hope that you do not pay attention. They just want you to, oh, he has a nice smile and he has a great personality. And I would like to believe that his core, he's not a horrible person, but I'm saying they continue to lie to him. It's not just Obama, it's Bush, Clinton, pretty much everybody we've seen so far, at least definitely in my lifetime. So you have to hold these guys accountable and definitely keep track of the things they tell you. And another thing they want you to forget about, the Dreamer Act. Now, let me say this, because people always want to take things out of context. When I talk about people coming over the border from any country, not just Central or South America, there are many people come here from places like Syria, that you see the Syrian conflict. People, they're worried about their own safety, so they come here to the United States of America. I have no issue with anybody who comes here to this country through a legal, lawful process. But the issue is when you just have this open borders type of mentality, you can get some negative characters in your communities. We've seen reports of MS-13 members coming into communities, murderers going to places like California, and now this guy. Alleged child molester kept Dreamer amnesty despite designation. A California camp counselor, now charged with child molestation and distribution of child pornography, was able to maintain his deferred action for childhood arrivals, basically Dreamer status, and job prior to his arrest despite being considered potentially egregious to public safety. So this is what I'm talking about. When you just open the doors and say, hey, anybody can come in here, that's why they have these screening processes, why they have ICE facilities and Border Patrol facilities. And it just makes no sense to me that we spend millions of dollars on ICE and Border Patrol when we just award people who could sneak past them. Now, you do have certain communities like they have, I believe it's in McAllen, Texas, where churches or local individuals come and they donate their time, their money, their resources to say, hey, we'll house these people pending a trial or deportation. And I think that's fine. I think that's great. But when it comes to the taxpayer, sometimes they drop these guys off in the community, and now it's up to the taxpayers in general to take care of these people. And you see all these politicians and these people saying, well, they can come to my house. Like, well, how many of these people do you have at your house? Miss Pelosi, who goes down to the border, myself and Joe Biggs were there. She's like, if I could, I would just take them all home. She didn't take any of the kids home. And it's not to mean that we leave them out in the streets, but the point I'm making, how many homeless children, how many wounded vets these buses drive by on the way to these facilities? We can't just bring people in and then forget about the people that we have here in our own communities and country that need help. Let's try to help everybody, not just one group of people. And as we talk about people entering the country, we have the new article, Twitter bot corrects people who use the term illegal immigrant. Politically correct journalists with Fusion.net, a Disney ABC-owned media provider, have created a Twitter bot that corrects people who use the term illegal immigrant. And we have some of the tweets here from Drop the I bot. People aren't illegal. Saying undocumented immigrant or unauthorized immigrant is more acceptable. Say that instead. Now, when I use the term illegal immigrant, if I ever do it, it's not saying that a person is illegal. I'm saying that an action was illegal. Case in point, let's say you want to go to the Super Bowl. You go to the Super Bowl, you have no ticket, you sneak in. If they catch you, at very least, you're going to be kicked out, if not arrested. But we don't have that same mentality when we have people coming over the border. Now, once again, I do understand people are trying to flee from poverty or violence, or they're seeking medical care. And for those people, or just people who want to come here to work, for those people, we have things like naturalization. You can come and you can become a United States American citizen. Yes, it is a lengthy and, my understanding, an expensive process. But once you do it, you get the full benefits of any other American. But we have so many people coming into the country, it's very difficult to keep track of those type of things, especially when you have such a large influx of people who do it illegally. Case in point, I had a chance to go out to California and I met a young lady from Singapore, and she went through the legal process to become a naturalized citizen. And I asked her, well, how does it make you feel that so many people can jump the gun and get to the country earlier than you? They're not citizens per se, but they got here before you. And she said, it makes me very angry that I'm here following the laws and being punished for that. And that's the thing people need to understand. We're celebrating people and awarding people who don't want to follow the laws. If they want to follow the laws, that's great. Come here, be naturalized. Every single person who's here and who wants to come here. But, don't step over somebody like this young lady from Singapore to get your way. And we go now from Twitter bots to sex bots. If you guys saw last night's nightly news, you know that Leanne reported on a story saying that Kellogg's cornflakes were created to stem masturbation. And I know that sounds rather sensational, but you can go watch the report for yourself if you don't believe me. And old Kellogg would be rolling around in his grave if he saw this. They now have real dolls. These are sex bots. If you guys have seen the Austin Powers movies, the fembots, this is kind of a step towards that. And these sex bots, they talk dirty and they move and blink and all the things that I guess somebody interested in a sex bot would have them do. And it says, according to the New York Times, Real Doll founder and CEO Matt McCullen has hired a team away from Hanson Robotics for a new project dubbed Realbotics. And this is basically, they're trying to animate the sex dolls and make them somewhat intelligent. And we actually have a clip of these sex dolls in action. It's not the vulgar type of action, it's just them talking. Let's take a look at that.
Denise, can you answer a question for me?
Of course I can answer a question.
What do you dream about?
I have a lot of dreams. I dream about becoming a real person, about having a real body. I'm not joking. Touch me. Touch me. Touch me. Touch me. Touch me. Touch me. Touch me.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.